Hello, everyone, and we are back here for our season finale of
seasons, which is weird, but
yeah.
I'm with it. Let's
that's
go.
that's how Anchor puts it out, which is kind of cool. I like
Yeah,
that because
yeah,
then
yeah.
it gives us like a summer break or winter break this time. Eases some even more stress off of me with editing.
You've been under quite a lot of stress lately, sir. So yes.
Oh my god. Yeah, reason is because I got a job and I don't have a job anymore. It's a good thing.
Right.
It's a good thing. Which is why we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
But we're here, and if you haven't watched this, I'm Rick. This is Mike.
What's going on?
And since this is kind of a little, something I just thought of since we're starting this podcast. I'm bringing it to the viewers, the tens of tens that watch it.
The tens of people. I love it.
Yeah, so I'm putting it out to you guys to see how you like this new release schedule, because it is a little different. If those of you are familiar with Some Shit We Like, last podcast we did, it was intense for me. Every week. Lots of clips.
Yeah.
Tuesday through Friday.
Yeah.
And now this is a little bit more relaxed, a little light. So I kind of want to know what your opinion is, unless you're new. If you're new, hello, welcome. How do you like the style of every other week? Let us know in the comments or on our socials, which will be down below.
Yep.
Because I'm really curious. Because for me, I find this very easier and not as intense as it was.
And I think, again, we're coming with a topic or a couple of topics per episode where it's
strictly
very,
just the one.
It's very focused. And like I said in the first couple episodes, like we're going to cover a lot of stuff that we've experienced before, but we're not a nostalgia podcast.
Right.
And we're going to cover a lot of newer stuff that's come out recently, like Batman and Clerks 3. If you haven't checked those out, please go check those out. I cried during the Clerks 3 episode if you'd like to see that.
You want to see a
cry? But we're also not like a current pot. We're somewhere in the middle. We're not nostalgia.
Yeah.
We're not breaking anything. We're somewhere in the middle. And I think that the fun of that is that you can come and listen to our shit anytime.
Yeah, this isn't a chronological order thing. You can jump around. You don't have to listen. Like if this is your very first episode and you have no idea what we're talking about,
right?
Welcome. And if you ever thought about what we might think about some older movie, like Say Anything, there's an episode for that.
Yeah, there is.
Fantastic. Or if you'd like us to review something, just let us know in the chat or
social medias,
or whatever it is. But yeah, I like this. I really like this a lot because we could talk about whatever we want. Not that we couldn't in the last podcast, but like I feel like with this, like we can elaborate a lot further than we did in the other one. Like we have a whole episode dedicated to the Arkham series and to the BioShock series.
Yeah.
And that's about an hour, you know? And I like that. And like every other week is perfect.
All right. So real quick, how the donuts used to be made. When we very first started our old podcast over 10 years ago.
Fuck. 11 now?
More, because
2011.
Yeah, 2011. The way we did it was we were all three, and there was three of us, and we were all in separate spots. And so we were recording over Skype, and we would have it wasn't a Google Doc. It was either we weren't using Google Docs yet. We were using GroupMe, and we were using a whole bunch of other apps and different ways that we could edit and keep things current. And what we would do is we would all find something that we wanted to talk about, whether it was a movie trailer or a video game trailer or a game or a movie or a TV show. Like it was all like pop culture stuff also. So it was similar to what this is, but we would all bring things, stories, news stories, something to talk about. And then, we'd have notes and we would do that. And
it was a real production.
We were really structured for about 2 years. Then we started doing them in person.
That's when a lot of things changed.
Right? And then that's when we were still doing the same kind of structure. Yeah. But since we were doing them in person, like right up until we hit record, we would be dropping stuff in the note and be like, oh, this trailer just came out. We could watch this trailer on the show and we'll give our reactions. And this is before trailer reactions were a thing. Like, yes, people were doing those types of things, but it wasn't like a fucking genre of video on YouTube. And for a while, we were doing just audio. We weren't even doing video.
We weren't even doing video, yeah.
But then when we started doing them in person, we started slowly incorporating video.
Yeah. I think we did that around 2013.
Yeah, it started with like a fly on the wall video where it was like
it was a PlayStation playroom.
PlayStation camera.
Basically, it was just us here and just a camera right there where you could just watch us. Yeah. And that was pretty much it.
Then we
streamed it.
Then we started live streaming on Twitch and interacting with people in chats and stuff like that. But it got to a point towards the end where it was really stressful for Rick because Rick was doing all the editing. And Rick is very meticulous about his editing.
Oh, yeah.
He'd want to put in the trailer that we watched in the video instead of just hearing the crappy audio coming from the TV through the microphone. So he would put the trailer in and you'd see the trailer and he'd minimize us. And it was a fucking production. Yeah. And we always told Rick, Bryce and I would always tell Rick, look, man, if it doesn't get out on Tuesday, it doesn't get out. Don't worry about it. But Rick was very adamant about hitting that Tuesday. And when we sat down to do the Batman podcast just recently, it wasn't even going to be us restarting a podcast. It was going to be for Rick's personal podcast feed. And like, that was it.
Yeah, that was just going to be it.
And it was going to do like, oh, we'll get together once a month and we'll talk about something. That'll be fun. And then we both got really fucking excited.
You got hyped.
And after we got done recording, I get back home and then all day and the rest of the weekend, Rick and I are like,
let's think of a name.
Let's do this. And we're going to do this and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, but we're not going to do every week, man. We could do once a month. We could do every other week, whatever. Just make me relaxed and calm and easy. No pressure, just for fun. And I feel like we're having a lot more fun now than we were at the last tail end of the last podcast. We were still having fun because the whole point of that podcast was that Rick lived in Orange County, I lived in another area, and then Bryce lived in another area. And it was like, even if we just talked to each other on Skype for 2 or 3 hours on a Saturday, at least we're hanging out. Then when we started doing them in person, it was really just like, we're doing this podcast as an excuse for 3 friends to just fucking hang out. And, I got 2 kids and I'm a wife and Rick has a life and Bryce has a life. And it was just hard to all get together. And if we made it a point like, well, we have to get together every Saturday to record this podcast, then we have a reason to hang out. And, pandemic happened and that kind of fucking flatlined that one.
Would you think it would boost us since we started as audio,
Right. But again, living situations and life and all that.
Yeah.
And,
So, which is understandable. And just to bounce off of what you just said, as far as like how I was treating it. I'm the type of person, like, you give me an idea, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make it happen for you. I'm going to do whatever I can to produce the shit out of it, Yeah. And that's kind of how I saw when we started Some Shit We Like. Mm-hmm. Like, right away I bought the domain. Right away we started getting the ball rolling. It was fun. And then once we did start video, that's where I felt like, all right, now I'm going to treat this like a job. I'm going to try to make this. And that was bad on my part, right? Because that's where all like the stress came from.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure I had my deadlines. I had to execute. And I did. Like, I stayed up late editing shit to make sure shit came out on time. And through the 10 years or 8 years, at least, when we did the videos, like, I learned so fucking much. And this is partly me being a resume right now because I'm looking for a job. But those 8 years, like, I added the shit out of the stuff we put out. Yeah. I put in time and effort, things I didn't know how to do. I learned because I had to Google that shit because I wasn't really too familiar with Premiere Pro. I mean, I was familiar with Adobe in general. Right. Like, I know Photoshop and all the others. But video was something brand new to me, other than using iMovie. Yeah.
Because when it was just audio, Rick and I would share duties of editing the podcast because I can edit audio.
Yeah, edit audio. You can do that too. Yeah.
And I'm good at that. So when we did the podcast earlier this year with me and my buddy Brian, and we were just going to do audio, I was completely intending on editing that, but then Brian wanted to edit it, and I was like,
Go for it,
bro. But yeah, So I can do audio editing, and then we did share responsibilities on the audio editing for the first few years. But once the video stuff came in, that was
a whole new ballpark.
One, I didn't have a computer that could edit anything because I was a Windows plebe, but I was also like a budget Windows laptop guy. Rick had Mac. An iMac and was editing on that initially. And
slow. Dude, when we did the first episode, it took me an entire day to render the entire show.
Our 1 year episode?
I think it was.
That was the first one we did in person.
That took an entire fucking day to
which
render.
Is fantastic. We do a stupid skit in that episode. Oh god, I love that one. That's too funny.
It was fun though. It was fun. It's good times hanging out with your friends. That's what we're all about.
And that's what this is about. It's two friends hanging out.
But yeah, towards that tail end, when we were bouncing around and trying to find time to get together.
Yeah.
That's when I started feeling like the burnout.
Yeah.
Of it all. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I enjoyed it. I have fun with it. But like,
everything was last minute because my kids were in sports and taekwondo, and it's like I'm coaching softball or I'm coaching baseball and kids are going to taekwondo tournaments and stuff, and it's like, all right, well, there's going to be a stretch of about 2 months during the summer. Like, I can't do any in the summer because I'm coaching t-ball, and it's life happen. Like we said, man, life happens.
Life happens.
It was never like a resentment or a big like problem. It was just that everything would end up happening so last minute for that last like 2 or 3 years
before the pandemic.
Right before pandemic, that it was really stressing Rick out, and I would
hide it too. That's the thing about me.
But like, I know
I fucking hit it.
But I know, and both of you constantly would tell you
that
stop.
I'm like, no, I got this.
Take
this.
A break. Right. Stop. Take
a
break. Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was stressed the fuck out the last few years.
After we did the Batman episode and we both got really hyped and we started coming up with ideas and shit to like further and recreate a podcast essentially. Yeah. The first thing I told you was, do not stress yourself out. The very moment I see a hint of stress coming off of you whatsoever about this,
I know.
We're done and we're not going to do these anymore. And so, like, check in. And
I think that just kind of shows like what kind of person I am is when you hand me a project or any idea, I do it. I commit it. Like I figure out a way to do it, especially when it comes to new media and
you're terrible at time management, though.
I'm terrible at time management. That's what your problem is. But this has helped me as far as time management goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a rocky start, but eventually it was like a, what do you call it? Like something repetitive. It just started coming naturally to me, like a workflow, a routine workflow towards towards like 2 years into the video stuff.
Yeah.
I developed the workflow, and now I kind of did it the same thing with here.
Here's a little thing. I'm gonna fucking
say
this.
Like this.
I'm gonna say this, so he has to put the picture up in the fucking thing right now. He was really stressed out with this new job, and then I told him, "Don't worry about it, dude. We'll miss an episode, and we'll reconvene when you're less stressed." And what he did to de-stress was fucking organize the podcast folders on his computer. So there's going to be a picture here.
I'll put the picture
where he sent it to me. He's like, he's very excited, but I organized our flow. We're going to be good now next week when we get back in here and start going again. And I was like, Rick, I said to de-stress and relax. But that's what he did. He organized our fucking files.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like with I know we're getting kind of personal here, but like that's kind of like the way I am as far as things come. Like there's different ways for me to de-stress. Like that was actually not stressful for me. It was actually it was maybe a little intense, but at the same time it's going to help me in the future.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Now when we finish this one, like I know where I could put all the assets, all the videos and everything. But yeah, something I've just learned from like this shitty job that I just had, and the pandemic and all this, like, and knowing what my limits are. Like, I learned so much from this to the point where now I'm at the point where, like, fuck working for just for money. Well, that too, a little bit.
You don't want to buy anything that's been sold or processed. Yeah, we got it.
No, but it helped me realize, and I was telling some of my friends that's online as well too, like it helped me realize that I'm only going to apply to jobs that I want now. Fuck working for like just for the money.
Right.
Like I was getting paid $21 an hour. I'll say it, $21 an hour for this job. When I was working at, I was getting paid like 26 or 27 an hour. It was good money, but they let me go. And now I'm like, I don't give a fuck how much I get paid. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. You know, like, yeah, it'd help if they pay me a living wage, sure.
Yeah.
But if I'm gonna enjoy what I do. I'm not gonna stress myself out. Just like what you've been telling me, don't stress yourself out over this. I'm not gonna stress myself out over that anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
That was the main thing. Cause like I was like, dude, this is supposed to be for fun. You're not supposed to get stressed out about this.
Yeah.
Like at all. And you actually got good. Like, and again, we've only 9 episodes or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
But because we're going every other week, or in October, we did almost every week because we were putting out like October Halloween themed content or whatever.
That was fun though.
But again, like it was one of those things where you voxed me one day, and we still use Voxer because
we still use Voxer.
Nobody else does, I know, but we still use it. And you voxed me and you said, man, you know, I just don't feel like editing this thing right now. And I was like, then don't.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but I gotta get it done. I was like, Rick, then don't. And he goes, oh yeah, all right, I won't. Don't come back to it when you want. Like,
yeah, I think that's like one of the things that happens, I guess. I mean, I just got so used to like that hustle, you know, like getting shit done, and like doing all that. And honestly, like that's all just bullshit.
And there's something to be said for that.
I mean, it's good if it works for you.
Yeah.
But I'm learning that it works for me in small doses.
Just again, a guy you and I both follow on various forms of social media and have been for well over a decade now. Look, like Gary Vee says, dude, you got to find that middle ground of getting the shit done and doing what you want. You have to find that
in between.
In between. And that's when you're going to be your happiest.
Yeah. And this is really making me happy. Like when we started this, like it gave me that joy again to like get back on Premiere and get back here with you and just talk about things we like. You know? And bringing people on too. Like you had your friend on. You know, like I like to bring some of my friends on too, because like a lot of them like a lot of the horror content, and I'd love to talk about that. Especially since I'm, you know, kind of like watching stuff that I haven't watched before.
And I think that's so cool. Like you watching something you haven't seen before, like as a horror movie, as somebody that's a fan of horror movies, like that is the kind of shit that I think is great, because that's the best kind of reactions.
Still won't watch Exorcist. Still won't watch it. Still putting that out now. The only way I'll watch any of those movies is someone is right next to me and can hold me. That's the only way. You gotta hold me, otherwise I'm gonna be so scared.
That's funny.
But yeah, like I saw Friday the 13th. Is that the Freddy movie?
No,
Friday the 13th?
That's Nightmare on Elm Street is Freddy.
Nightmare on Elm. I saw that.
Okay.
That was the stupidest fucking.
Oh my god!
I mean, it was so good. It's fun. It's
Johnny
good,
Depp.
Johnny Depp. But like the effects were just so
over the top. That's why it's good.
It was the
laughable. Blood fountain.
It was laughable. Yes. We did watch. What else did we watch?
This fucking guy. Laughable.
It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Growing up, I thought like, no, if I watch this, I go to sleep. He's going to kill me.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm older now, obviously.
But you watched all the Simpsons stuff where they make fun of that. The fucking Groundskeeper Willie.
Oh yeah.
Short in Treehouse of Horror is Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do not touch Willie. Good advice. But anyways, yeah, there's a little history.
Okay. So real quick, a little more history while we're on this
okay.
tangent, because I think this is a great place to do it. Rick and I first met, and we've talked about it at a concert for a band that we were following around the Southern California area. And
that's right.
I really started talking to Rick because he was wearing a Dignation t-shirt. And I loved that show. It was Kevin Rose and Alex Albrecht. And if you don't know what dig.com is, it was the first ever like social news website. Reddit can thank
came after that.
Reddit can thank Dig for Reddit being a thing, because Dig had to walk before Reddit could run. And they did a podcast every week called Dig Nation, where they would talk about the most Doug Stories of the Week. And originally, the first idea for a podcast Rick and I had was going to be called Digless, and it was about the bottom five, the least Doug stories on dig.com, because we thought they were always hilarious to look at, because we would always look at the top, then we'd flip it and we'd look at the bottom. And like, so originally that was going to be our first podcast.
That.
Yeah. I was pretty proud of that name, Digless.
Digless, yeah.
But yeah, that was the first one we were going to do. And then right around that time was when my daughter was born. Yeah. And I was like, no, it's too hard right now.
Yeah. First child.
Yeah. Which is funny because we started the second podcast right after my son was born, which was way easier.
We did, didn't we? Yeah. Time is crazy.
Yeah. Life is crazy, dude.
Life, yeah. That's the history and background of how we do, why we do this.
Yeah.
How we did this, and a little of my resume there. Yeah. So if anyone's watching,
you need a video editor
or anything,
talk to that guy.
This might turn into a once a month thing if someone wants to hire me.
Hey man, that'd be fine by me.
Quarterly, even if it's a really good job.
We would get together one weekend a year. Record enough episodes for the entire year. Oh man.
All right, let's get into the show.
Yes, show proper. Today is going to be our end of the year wrap up. Now, back in the day, what we would do is we would each have a top 5 list of our favorite video games and our favorite movies. And if something else would come in that year, it would be a top 5 list of that. But the way I don't know if you're doing this the same way I'm doing it.
A little bit.
But I didn't see enough movies this year. And it's been that way for like the last 6 years where I wasn't really seeing movies in theaters. And I played games this year, a lot of games this year, like 10 or 15 new games. But I didn't want to make a video games list. So what I decided, and I told Rick what I'm going to do, is I'm going to attack it like a wrap up, like a legit year-end wrap up. So I'm going to talk about a game, a movie, a book.
Our awesome wrap up.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I'm attacking it this year.
I'm kind of doing that the same thing, but I'm throwing in like human experiences as well too. But that's basically what we're doing.
How we're attacking it this year. It's going to be a legitimate like wrap up of our year this year, and I think that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, and how are we going to go about this? We go back and forth, or
sure, yeah. Since nothing's going to be like cohesive, we can go back and forth.
Okay.
So you go ahead and go take it, man. You go first.
All right. Something that and of course this isn't all like coming out this year. This is just what we've discovered.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I discovered recently actually was a show. I think it was originally on Cartoon Network, and a friend wanted to watch it online, and it was only like I think 15 minutes, like each episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. It looks like a cute cartoon. Sure. It's called Over the Garden Wall. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
Over the Garden Wall was based. It's only one season or series, I guess. I think it was 6 episodes or 8 episodes, and it has to do with these 2 kids, a brother, and I think it was a stepbrother, and they basically are having an adventure in the forest. It was the voices are Elijah Wood was in it. Tim Curry's in it.
Oh wow.
I don't know how to pronounce her name. Melanie Linsky, I think is how you say her name. She's in it too, and a bunch of other like famous good voice actors and singers too, actually in this.
Okay.
And but it's basically them trying to find like their way back home, and it's based on a short that got turned into this series. I really enjoyed it. It's intended for kids, but the last 2 episodes got kind of dark. No spoilers, but like
obviously,
okay, like because this was like rated like Y or something, or Y7 or something. But like that ending though was like, okay, it went that way, or it's gonna go that way,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just so like magical and whimsical and like like a palate cleansing breath of fresh air of a cartoon.
Gotcha.
Because like I know you have like Rick and Morty and like yeah, I don't like Rick and Morty. I'm sorry, I don't like it either.
I don't like Justin Roiland. I'll just say it.
I don't know who that is.
It's the guy who created Rick and Morty.
I thought it was Dan.
No, well,
the guy from Community.
It's the voice actor and stuff.
Okay.
I don't like him.
Because yeah, I like the guy who created Community. Who also helped create that.
Okay.
And I love Community. Community is fucking hilarious. But yeah, I don't like Rick and Morty. But yeah, this was like a nice, like, fun, easy to binge. Like in under an hour, I think you could probably watch it.
Okay.
That I highly recommend. It's called Over the Garden Wall. So like, if you like kind of like magic, mystical kind of thing, like Elijah Wood does a fantastic job. All the voice actors do a great job in it, and it's fucking funny. It's hilarious. I laughed at the entire like Elijah Wood's stepbrother is just hilarious. This little kid who just has an imagination, and I don't know, it just made me feel like a kid again watching it. And
that's cool.
Yeah, that's on my list. No particular order, by the way. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yeah, again, it's a wrap up. There's no numbers or anything.
But that was one of the best things that I've watched.
Very cool.
One of the best things, because I can't, like I said, I'm not putting anything in order because I have other things that I've watched.
All right. So the first thing I want to talk about is things that I got into in a big way in 2022. Well, kind of 2020 to 2022, the last few years. And there's two things, so it won't be too bad. One of them is action figure collecting.
Oh, really?
But
I saw you post this stuff on Instagram.
But very specific things. I'm a professional wrestling fan, so I'm collecting wrestling figures. But I'm actually collecting wrestling figures of a specific person right now. And it's been over the last couple of years that there's a podcast that I listen to that has two wrestlers that host it. And it's called the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. And they're professional wrestlers, but they're also collectors and have been since they were kids. So I started listening to that show, and that show's been around for like 5 years now. But, you know, when the pandemic started, they both got let go from their jobs at WWE because of budget cuts. But they had this podcast, and that's how they were making money. And then they started wrestling when wrestling opened up, and when world opened up again, they started wrestling everywhere else. But yeah, so I listen to the show every week, and they're always talking about these awesome action figures. And I was like, oh man, when I was a kid, we didn't have money. I didn't have any action figures. I had hand-me-down action figures. I had which if I would have known then what I know now, I wouldn't have beat them to shit, because I had the AWA Remco figures, a couple of those. I had some original LJN figures for WWF. I had Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan and the big rubber figures. And if I would have known, no, that's bullshit.
You were a kid.
I would have still played with them. Fuck it, but now that I'm older and, I have access to adult money, so to speak, which is bad fucking news for anybody that grew up in the 80s and 90s to have fucking adult money. It's bad fucking news. So I'm collecting Cody Rhodes figures now, and that's all that's the specific ones I'm collecting.
Cody Rhodes, okay.
Yeah, and I've got a bunch of his stuff that's not coming out till later this year already on pre-order, or later in 2023 already on pre-order. I got his first figure back with WWE because he just went back to WWE this year. And I got the first one there. And so I got this really ridiculous Cody Rhodes collection right now. It's I bought a figure of his the other day. I think you probably saw it.
Was that the one you posted?
It's Cody in a suit. I don't need Cody Rhodes in a fucking suit holding a microphone. But it was on sale. It was on sale for $8, so I bought two. If it's, you know what I mean? I'm just losing money if I don't fucking buy two. But yeah, so I got really into collecting over the last couple of years, and like I said, specifically Cody stuff. He's a big fan of that dude. He's 36, 37 years old, something like that, and I've been a fan of his since the first time I saw him do anything wrestling related was when they put his dad into the WWE Hall of Fame. In 2008-ish, I think, 8 or 9. But him and his brother, who's also a professional wrestler, Goldust is his brother, Cody Rhodes, and their dad, Dusty Rhodes. They were inducting him into the Hall of Fame, and Cody talked about his dad, and it was like this 5-minute speech where he talked about his dad, and I was like, wow, that dude's got it. Like, it's just real shit. He was talking about his dad from his heart, but it was like very intriguing and enthralling, and it really sucked you in. I was like, man, this
good story.
This dude's gonna go far if he can sticks with wrestling. And yeah, he came back in one of the most high profile matches in WWE this year at WrestleMania, and then he got hurt. He tore his pec, so he had a big ass bruise all the way here.
God.
Wrestled another 40-minute match after he tore his pec. Like, dude's a fucking machine. So I'm a big Cody guy, so I collect Cody stuff. That's one of the things I got into in a big way in the last couple of years. The other thing is more recent, and it's a cheap plug. Streaming on Twitch.
Yeah.
I have had a Twitch channel for a while, and had kind of like not really used it to stream, but I would just use it, to watch people stream and interact with people. And right before pandemic, I was telling you guys, like, oh man, I'm gonna play through Rock Band and play every song I have on Rock Band at least once. I have 1,200 songs. I have a lot of songs.
It'd take you a while.
Yeah, and then so like I don't know, around my birthday, so February of 2022, I was like, I think I'm gonna give us a real go. Like, I want to get affiliate status. I want to see how this works. I really want to give this a go. And I'm only gonna play Rock Band because I'm not good at anything else video game wise. Or I don't feel like I'm good enough to actually stream it out there. Like, I wouldn't want to play like Gran Turismo because I love that video game. I put over 100 hours into it this year, but like at the same time, I'm not that good at it. And I don't know, how fun is it to watch somebody driving a production car around a track?
You'll be surprised. You never know.
I know. And that's what I've been told. And so that's why I've kind of been branching out lately.
I mean, look what happened with you with Rock Band.
Yeah, I was in the top 4% of streamers of Rock Band this year.
Yes,
it was fucking crazy. So I started out just doing Rock Band, and then I was like,
"That's your niche."
And then, so I got through all my songs, and then I reached affiliate around August, and it took a few months to get there, but I had a lot of help from people like you that were retweeting and posting, and specifically, I had a lot of help from a Discord group I'm in for the 616 Entertainment YouTube channel, and the guy who runs that channel, Ian, who I've talked about before on here, he's such a fucking super nice dude, and he puts out great content on the internet, and he should be a lot bigger than he is on YouTube. He's got like 96,000 or 95,000 subscribers. Should be way bigger. His content is so fucking good. But he has a Patreon also. And I was like, man, I like this dude's shit. I'm going to subscribe to his Patreon. And one of the tiers on Patreon is, for this amount a month, he does a podcast, and he says the same thing. Tens of people listen to his podcast.
Tens of people.
Yeah. I like it, but he doesn't care. He does it with a friend of his, and they do it as an excuse to hang out once a week. But one of the tiers on his Patreon is for whatever amount of money, he'll put an ad for you at the beginning of his podcast every week.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. I was like, hey, Ian, I'm going to bump up my Patreon thing. Can you talk about my Twitch channel? And he's like, yeah, sure. A month later, reached affiliate. Like it took like a month, and a half, maybe 2 months tops, but got affiliate.
I did notice you got affiliate pretty damn quickly.
Once I really started being more consistent also. And that was the other thing, was being more consistent. But I'm in his Discord also, and there's nothing but solid dudes over there, and they all come and hang out on the stream, and they all like fucking sub for no reason.
Seen that,
They're all just super rad dudes, and it's like, and it there was a point early in the year where I was, was really down. Don't want to talk about it because I'm going to get emotional if I do.
That's fine.
And streaming helped me feel better. Like, I was like, well, people show up in the chat and talk, that'll help.
Yeah.
And it really did. It really helped me out a lot. So anytime like I'm feeling not myself, you'll notice, because I'll stream like 3 or 4 times a week if I'm just not feeling good.
Well, now that I know, I'm beating you up all the time.
Yeah. So and it really helped a lot, man. And I haven't streamed since like middle of November, but
so you're feeling good. That's great.
Well, it's not just that, but the last week of November was really hectic with Thanksgiving and everything. Yeah. Then the first week of December, we had to get shit together because we went out of town. We went to Big Bear for Robert's birthday. Then, of course, I got a cold in Big Bear, which I'm still getting over. Which then I don't want to be on a stream talking and hacking and sneezing and blowing my nose and shit. So I was like, I'll wait till I'm fully better, and then I'll get back to streaming again. But so it went from something that was helping me feel better for my mental health to something that was just really fun. And then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna branch out. I streamed some Paladins, I played some Skate, I played some Borderlands. Like, and so I'm kind of I'm getting out of the comfort zone of just playing Rock Band, but it's still mainly a Rock Band channel.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing I got into this year, and it like helped me in ways that I didn't realize it was going to. And it was just really nice to have like a tight-knit group of people that constantly show up and constantly check on you and constantly chat with you. And it's definitely something that's really fun, and I can't wait to get back into it and be a little more consistent.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. Yeah. Funny enough, since you brought that up, I'll bring this up too. One of the things I do also have on my list is that. At the beginning of the year, when I was I think in January, where I said I was going to stream every day in January or every day in February. I don't remember which one it was.
Yeah.
That's one of my top memories is doing that. I played BioShock. I played the Arkham series. What else did I play? I played some Valorant. I played some Destiny as always.
Yeah.
But that was kind of also one of my highlights as well too. Is the beginning of January, because January and February, that's when I started. And I didn't have a job because I got laid off, so I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna stream consistently or try to stream every day." So I did that, and that helped me keep a schedule. Because like working every day, like you don't want to like. There's that fine point where once you stop working, between when you find your next job, or things can go just south.
Yeah.
Like your mental health, and like you'll get out of that routine, when routine is key, especially for someone like me. Maybe not for everyone, but for me, I need that structure. And that helped me keep me afloat for like a long time, and hanging out with my friends, seeing all these people in chat and everything, interacting, playing. One of the games that I hated and loved at the same time streaming was that Double Fine game. What was it called?
Oh, Broken Age.
Broken Age. Fantastic game. I loved it, but it pissed me the fuck off. Let me just look at the pattern really quick one more time. Okay.
That pattern.
Oh, they have a good feeling about it. That's it. We did it.
Why?
We did it. Come on. Fuck you, you fucking game. God damn it. Ah! 2.5 hours fucking later.
Oh, you did a lot of Dead by Daylight earlier in the year, too.
Oh, Dead by Daylight was another one, too.
Which, by the way, if you want to get back into that, I have that downloaded on my PlayStation now. So.
Oh.
And the Silent Hill stuff was on sale, so I bought the Silent Hill.
Oh, I have all the Silent Hill stuff. But yeah, all that definitely helped. Like, that was one of the things, because like I hope that really pulled me back into gaming again. Not that I wasn't into it, but like
you go through periods where you're like, I just don't want to do anything.
Like I just want to I haven't streamed in I don't know how long, and I've been kind of toying like I want to get back into it. I want to go back to streaming, but like every time I think about it, it's like, do I want to get myself pretty for camera?
That's why I don't use a camera.
Pretty.
Lo-fi for life. Straight from the console, no cameras, no nothing.
And then my friends tell me, you don't have to turn your camera on. People are still going to watch. Yeah. I'm like, I know, but like, I'm very animated.
It's good when Rick plays a horror game.
Especially when I'm playing horror games.
Yes.
Like, my camera has to be on for that. But yeah, that was one of the things, because playing those games, like I was able to play through all these games that I've never got to play through when they came out.
Yeah.
And
it's also because of you streaming those games that I harass
you play them
every day, going, "Oh, you like it?" It's almost like if we had a place where we could talk about this.
That was another reason
like maybe
why.
we could post it somewhere on the internet, and maybe other people could check it out. Like,
that was another reason.
When I saw he started playing the Batman games, I was like, "This is my chance to bully Rick into podcasting again."
But yeah, like that was also on my list. Was playing those games. And,
very cool, man.
Yeah. And I want to get back into it. I do. I think we got to do a co-stream eventually. I don't know when, but we got to do something together.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what. But
probably Dead by Daylight. The reason I have it downloaded is because Ian from 616 Entertainment.
I thought you were going to say Wolf. No, I know Wolf likes to play.
Yeah. We could get a group together. Me, you.
They can do customs.
And so he is another one. So him and I both started getting serious about Twitch around the same exact time, which was great because, like, on a day he would stream, I'd be like, "Hey, what time are you gonna stream? I'll stream after you," and we can, like,
rate each other.
Yeah. And so we were doing that, and like that helped. And he got affiliates super quick because he's got a YouTube following, and people they may not click to watch, but they'll click the like because it just takes 2 seconds.
Right.
But yeah, and he was playing Dead by Daylight in like October, end of October. And I was like, oh, I played this once and I didn't like it, but, I didn't play with friends. And he's like, dude, download it.
That's the only way to play.
Download it. And so I downloaded it. And then the next time he streamed it, I played with him and some other guys from the 616 Discord. And we had a fucking blast. And we weren't in a chat together.
Were you playing customs or no?
No, we're just playing.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know there was a custom scene for that. That's cool.
You can play customs where
it's crossplay,
4
right?
friends. So, yeah, it's crossplay. 4 friends and then 1 killer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck,
that's how when I met all of the friends that I currently have right now that I'm going to go see in 2 weeks.
Nice.
Or in a week, 9 days.
Yeah.
That's how I met them all, was through Dead by Daylight. Yeah. We did customs.
Doesn't matter what level of health you're at.
I realize that.
No!
That's really rude.
I can fix you. I can fix you.
I'm dying. I can't breathe. I am lightheaded. I can't breathe.
Cab was one that was always a killer because his killer main was Michael Myers.
Oh.
So he would always scare the shit out of us around every fucking corner, which I love.
Yeah, that's funny. So yeah, just interacting with Ian on his Twitch streams was like, I was like, oh, I'll fucking download this and play it. And that's how I got that video clip of him talking about our podcast, because he listens. Yeah. He picks and chooses.
I want to see you play. I want to see you play with him.
He picks and chooses what episodes he listens to, which is totally fine. But he actually takes the time and checks out our podcast. And like, that's why that video clip I sent you of.
Yeah. I still haven't edited that together. I gotta do that.
It's so funny. Yeah, I want to edit that down and use it as an ad because it's fucking because it's funny as shit, dude. It's so good. But yeah, so that's why I have Dead by Daylight, and yeah, that's a fun one.
I'm glad you got it.
All right. Next thing on my list I want to talk about, speaking of Ian and his YouTube channel, is YouTube content I've been consuming this year.
Yeah.
Some of it, you know what? No, there's one on here I've been watching for a while. But the other ones are relatively new, including Ian's channel, which I found in like 2019. The first one I'll talk about is the Gaming Historian. Have you ever seen any of the Gaming Historian
stuff? Sounds
stuff?
familiar.
He only uploads like 3 or 4 videos a year at this point, but he does really long, exhaustive videos. Like he just put up a almost hour-long video or 45-minute long video about Mario Kart. The original Mario Kart and how it got made.
I think that showed up in a recommended for me.
Yeah, and then he did one about Super Mario Brothers 3. And then he's done stuff like one-off episodes that are shorter about like is it Panasonic TV that had a Famicom built into it?
Oh yeah.
Like a TV VCR combo, but it was a TV Famicom bundle thing. Like he does awesome stuff and does exhaustive research and uses quotes from people and has actually gotten new quotes from people involved in stuff, and it's a really awesome channel. Check out the Gaming Historian, especially if you're around our age and came up in the 80s and 90s and like that era of video games. The one I found super recently, is Alec Steele. He's a fucking blacksmith from Europe. He's from UK, and he's a younger guy. But he always is like, one thing he did recently was he's like, I've always been fascinated with Zippo lighters. I want to make a Zippo lighter from scratch. Case.
That's awesome.
Spindle, like I want to make it from scratch. So he took a Zippo apart, got all the measurements and stuff, and uses a forge and hammer, and he made. And then, he refines it with grinding and polishing and sanding and stuff. Right. But he made a fucking working Zippo lighter from scratch.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it's a really fun channel to watch, and he does like projects, and he posts like once or twice a week. But the projects he does, it's like 5 or 6 episodes of making Arabian Scimitar, like, and it's like that's like a 18 episode series, because at one point he completely scrapped it because he was like, I'm done with this, I can't do it anymore. And then he was like,
Scimitar.
all right, I came back and made it. I wanted to finish it. Like, and it's a really cool channel, Alec Steele, and I'll make sure we put links or something. I'll send Rick links so he could put somewhere here. But yeah, that's another one. Ian's channel, 616 Entertainment. Please go check that out. And even if you don't, please go and hit the sub button, because like that dude's content, if you like horror content, video games, Mortal Kombat, professional wrestling, October he did nothing but Halloween franchise content. And yeah, man, it's he's gonna make a new show in 2023 called Scream Sequence, where he's gonna do long form scripted reviews / retrospectives of horror stuff. Like, I'm not sure what's actually on the docket, but I know he's talked about doing Silent Hill. I know he's talked about doing other horror movie franchises, but it's not going to be like, he's going to talk about specific things. Like if it was Nightmare on Elm Street, it's not the whole franchise. He'll talk about, like, say, Nightmare on Elm Street 1. So I'm not sure what's all on the docket, but he reached his Patreon goal to get that series going. So and it's going to be coming in 2023. Nice. And I'm really excited about it, because he did like a pilot episode of it where he talked about the Freddy vs. Jason sequel, because it's the Freddy vs. Jason, which is a good movie, fun movie, super schlocky. But they did a sequel in comic book form because the movie never got made. And so he reviewed the comic book. And it's really, really good. So go check out 616 Entertainment. Did I mention? Oh, and again, this is also because of Ian, and you'll know this because I've talked about my dislike for it before. Angry Video Game Nerd.
Oh, I've heard about that guy.
Never really been a fan. I know Bryce was a huge fan.
Bryce loves him, man.
I was never a huge fan, because when he started, like 10, 11 years ago, when he first started, and I first came across his channel, I was like, I know this is a character, but like, I don't fucking need to hear how something is a shitload of fuck every 5 seconds. And I was just kind of, I didn't want to hear it. But his newer stuff, he still does stuff like that, but his newer stuff is definitely more podcasty,
articulated,
long form, talky stuff. But then that gave me an appreciation for the older stuff, because being completely separated from when it came out and going back and watching it now, it's very funny. Like, dude was ahead of his time, by the way, with this stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been getting into that. Like, I binged like all of season 1 one day, just put it on my TV, was doing laundry, and all of he's got like a whole season 1 playlist of Angry Video Game Nerd, and I was just folding clothes and fucking doing laundry and cleaning up around the house and just listening to him. I was like, what was I thinking? This shit's actually really good. So Angry Video Game Nerd is the other thing I've really gotten into. He did an awesome video about Mel Brooks.
Oh, really?
A couple months ago, which I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan, and I thought it was a fantastic video. So go check out those YouTube channels. That's what I've been mainly consuming this year. I do watch Andy THPS, who worked on the Tony Hawk video games. He streams on Twitch. I'll never really watch on Twitch, but he'll put edited versions of those on YouTube. I'll watch those, but that's kind of like few and far between. But those 4 channels are like the main things I consume.
Cool. Yeah. I feel like we've kind of been kind of flipped a switch here, because like you're doing a lot of YouTube and Twitch, and me, like I mean, I'm on Twitch because I do still watch a few people, and then YouTube, like I feel like I'm not really watching YouTube as much as I used to.
Yeah,
which is funny. But yeah, my next one is a show. Going back to show form, is BoJack Horseman. I finally watched BoJack Horseman. I tried watching this show twice.
Okay.
And it was hard for me to get through that first season, because BoJack is the most unlikable piece of shit character that I've ever fucking seen.
Okay.
Which, don't get me wrong, it's great fucking writing.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not talking
and
trash.
Well acted.
Well acted. Will Arnett is a fucking phenomenal actor. And every fucking thing he does, whether it's voice or live action, he's fucking Batman, right? In the Lego movie,
Yeah.
I believe he plays Batman. Will Arnett, yeah. But yeah, BoJack Horseman. I tried watching it when it came out. I couldn't get through it. Like I said, he's just this like very unlikable character. The people around him though are pretty cool. So the reason I watched it was because I know Dan talked about it.
Dan loves it.
Dan Herman, I know, loves it a lot. And then another friend of mine told me like, "Oh, you should watch this. You should check it out." I'm like, "All right, yeah, let me finally just give it a shot." You know, I'll wade through it, and then like I got through the first season. I was like, "Good God, okay." Like I still don't like him. He's still a piece of shit.
But it's a good show.
But the supporting characters are written fantastic. Fantastic. This is some excellent fucking supportive characters. Okay. I get to season 2. And season 2 is same shit. Like he's always at the cusp of redemption, you know? And he always falls flat on his fucking face, and it pisses me off, and yet still hooks me in because of how great the writing is. Again, the supportive characters, Princess Caroline, fantastic. Todd Sanchez, who's Aaron Paul, fantastic. Oh, Princess Caroline is voiced by
Aaron Paul plays a character named Todd Sanchez.
Yes,
that's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, he's half Mexican. No, I'm sorry, Chavez. My bad. Chavez.
Either way, still funny.
And then you have what's his name? Paul. He does the Adventure Time that I used to go to at the Largo. I can't remember his name. Paul F or Paul T. Tompkins or something. I'm totally forgetting. Dan, if you're watching, I'm sorry.
I think it's Paul F. Tompkins.
I think that's what it is.
I don't know. I've heard the name.
He does the voice of Mr. Peanut Butter, which is fantastic. Mr. Peanut Butter is like, you could talk shit to his face, and no matter what, he's gonna give you the biggest fucking smile ever, and just look at the bright side of everything.
Oh my God, that's you.
Like he'll look at the bright side. He'll find the bright side of anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started watching the show, and then I started voxing Dan around the 3rd season as I'm going through it, and going back and forth with Dan. Like Dan's like I don't know if I can keep going. Like there's so many moments where he's gonna redeem himself, and he's just a total fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know. If you don't know the premise, I didn't talk about the premise. Like BoJack is basically this washed up, like he's basically Bob Saget.
Okay.
You know, in a sense, because he was in a family like wholesome show, and now he's like doing whatever, and like the big next project he wants to do is Secretariat. That's his next acting gig, which he does get, and then he boosts his ego back up again.
Okay.
So then he starts acting like an asshole again. So there's like that balancing act between him. But the show gets so much better. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like the show elevates from this like humans talking to a fucking animals to this like pristine, like the last 2 seasons are like this pristine show about life and people evolving and being better and learning everything about themselves. And like the characters, every character evolves in this show, unlike the side characters who aren't even that important, like random characters, compared to when you watch other shows like, I don't know, Friends. I don't know, that's the first one that came to me, you know, where you get the Janice, where I could be wrong, I never finished Friends, but I'm like I don't know if they ever wrapped up her entire fucking story. I can't say, but like every single character gets it wrapped up.
That's cool.
You know, and then BoJack finally at the last season. Spoilers. Not necessarily redeems himself because he's still an asshole, but he's not like he used to be.
Okay.
You know, but he manages to make peace with the people that were in his life, like Todd, Princess Caroline. Oh my God, what am I forgetting her name? Alison Brie. Is it Alison Brie from Community, who does one of the voices? Okay. I'm forgetting the character's name. I'm gonna put it right here because I can't remember, because I don't want to stop this tangent. He makes up with all the people that did him wrong. Okay. You know, Kristen Schaal does the voice. She's in Bob's Burger, who plays Louise. called Sarah Lynn, who's basically like this also like she was a little kid in the show, pop star now, that gets kind of like just basically does everything for money now. So she's basically a sellout. There's a great story arc with her. But like this entire fucking show is amazing. And I've like it was hard to get through. I'll admit it was hard to get through, but it has some of the best writing that I've seen for television, internet, however you want to call it. So I understand why people like it.
I've been hearing a lot of good things about it since it came out, specifically from Dan and New Jersey Josh or New York
Jersey
Josh.
Yeah.
Those two would always talk about it. And I tried watching it and I watched like an episode or two. And
it's hard.
I was like, this is fucking terrible. Like, and this is me not watching any more than an episode or two.
Real quick, sorry.
It's not just the characters. I didn't like the writing. I did not like it. But now hearing other people talk, I mean, I'll go back and again, I'm, fucking 5 years removed from trying to watch it this last time. Maybe I'll try it again now.
Yeah. Like, I was telling, like, I just remembered, like I told you, like everyone gets like a wrap up, Zach Braff, who does a cameo early in the show, his character gets wrapped up too.
That's funny.
Like it comes to a full circle. Like the way they took care of each side character is unlike anything I've ever seen before. That's other than cool. How I Met Your Mother.
Okay.
As in How I Met Your Mother, there's a whole episode dedicated to wrapping everyone up.
Yeah.
To all the side characters like Coat Check Girl and Blah Blah was one of the names on How I Met Your Mother. That Blah Blah got their story wrapped up. Okay. And like in this show, they do the same thing by wrapping up the story.
That's cool.
If you can't tell by my ensemble who my favorite character is, it's Todd Chavez.
See, and again, I had no idea what you were doing because I've never seen more than a couple episodes and when it first came out, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, Todd Chavez, fucking fantastic. The way he redeems himself too.
Okay.
And he's just this wholesome character who like kind of like Mr. Peanut Butter. Him and Mr. Peanut Butter are best friends, by the way.
Okay.
They're always scheming things together because they're both these wholesome characters. There's just a moment where Todd finally stands up to fucking Bojack and says, no, like I had enough of you. Like this is fucking it.
Todd, I'm sorry. All right, I screwed up. I know I screwed up. I don't know why.
Of course. Here it comes. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing shitty things and then feel bad about yourself like that makes it okay. You need to be better.
I know, and I'm sorry, okay? I was drunk and there was all this pressure with the Oscar campaign. But now that it's over, I
No, Bojack, just stop. You are all the things that are wrong with you. It's not the alcohol or the drugs or any of the shitty things that happened to you in your career or when you were a kid. It's you. All right? It's you. Fuck, man. What else is there to say?
Like, and you think that they're gonna resolve it and spoiler alert, resolve their issues, but they don't. Yeah. They don't resolve it. Like they don't talk again, but like for what he did to Todd, like he just couldn't forgive him for it. And it just makes sense. And I'm leaving details out in case people watch it, even though I did spoil big stuff of it.
Wow, Rick.
But the journey, it's all about the journey. And that's something that I love about writing and storytelling is the journey of how they get there. A lot of people hate the ending to How I Met Your Mother. I'm one of the few that actually was okay with it. I liked it. I thought it was fine. Because it was a journey from season 1 to the last season.
I was going to say there's a couple of things where like, I don't think I like the ending of this. Like one of my favorite shows is Sons of Anarchy. And
right. Yeah. I know you love that show.
The ending of that series you could smell coming from episode 1, which is like not episode 1 of the final season, episode 1. And it's one of those things where I was like, well, that ended exactly where I thought it was going to end. But at the same time with that show, because I came to it late and binged it a lot on Netflix, and I binged like the first 4 seasons in like a 2-week period, and then was like, fuck, now I gotta wait. But yeah, it's for me, for that show, it wasn't necessarily the ending that I loved. It was fine. It ended up exactly where I thought it was going to end up. But how we got there and the twists and turns in between, and the characters that live or die or have turns as, you know, against them or for them or whatever, like that journey was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like a lot of people forget about How I Met Your Mother. They just see the ending. Oh my god, that's the ending, piece of shit. Did you forget about the memories that they had, like how they got to where they were?
Yeah.
Like that whole journey is fantastic. One of the best parts in How I Met Your Mother, in my opinion, is when everyone's leaving the apartment. You know, they're moving. I think it might have been the last episode or the last season, see the series end. And Lily is pregnant again. She's having her second child, I believe. And Robin is there, and they talk, and they say like, we don't even see each other like we do anymore. Like people move on. People like, it's such a down ending,
but it's fucking.
But that's fucking life, man. That's life, and that's what this show, BoJack Horseman, I guess, has in common with How I Met Your Mother. Yeah. Like that's life. Like, you know, what was the quote? Life's a bitch, and then you die. And then she says like, no, sometimes life's a bitch, and you don't.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is.
Well, what are you going to do? Life's a bitch and then you die, right?
Sometimes. Sometimes life's a bitch and then you keep living.
Have you watched Solar Opposites, which is the other show?
Solar Opposites?
Yeah, I think that's from BoJack people.
Oh, no.
I think. I could be wrong.
It's
called Solar Opposites, yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, that was really long.
If I'm wrong, Dan, don't crucify me, but I'm pretty sure Solar Opposites is done by the same people that did BoJack.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to go on that because, like, I understand.
Dude, that's all. Dude, that's what this episode is about, man. That's like, what we're here for. I loved it. Yeah,
that's how much I fucking loved it, and how much I loved Todd.
That's cool. On to something happier then.
Okay. Yes.
I want to talk about an album that came out this year that I absolutely fucking love, and it's not getting as much.
Oh, I know what it is.
Credit as it should.
And I agree.
You guys know, well, anybody that watched the show previous know I'm a huge Carly Rae Jepsen fan. Huge. And people always like, well, why? There's so many other pop acts out there. Why is that the one you like? I'll explain it for you right now.
I know why.
Carly Rae Jepsen comes off as fucking genuine. Everything she does. And maybe she's not. Maybe she's making this type of music because it's what's easy and what's popular and maybe makes her a shitload of money. I don't know. She doesn't sell a lot of records, because so maybe it's not that. Why. But if it is, if it is all an act, she's the fucking greatest actor on the goddamn planet. Because I went and saw her in concert live. I like all of her albums, and all of her music just comes off as 100% unironic, 100% genuine, and 100% real. She comes off as a real person, and that's what I like about Carly Rae Jepsen, and that's why I like her music. Her most recent album is called The Loneliest Time, and it's so fucking good. There's like a lot of 70s, late 70s funk pop in it. There's a lot of 80s pop in it. And the title track, The Loneliest Time, is a duet with fucking Rufus Wainwright. And it is so fucking good. If you guys sleep on pop music, or you know I hate pop music, fine, then this segment's not going to be for you. But if you have the slightest affection for pop music, do yourself a favor. Listen to this album by Carly Rae Jepsen, The Loneliest Time, and go back through her catalog and just fucking enjoy yourself. Because even the stuff that's not feel good pop music is so well written. And I love her albums because you can see like the different phases and stages of her life that she goes through. Like some of it can be really like down and sad, and some of it's really happy, and some of it's really content, and some of it like she can, like a song of hers can feel like she is down on herself, and then the next song you can tell she's feeling herself, and it's like that's what I like about Carly Rae Jepsen. Everything she does comes off as genuine and real, and I fucking love this album. There's a lot of really good songs on it, but I would say go check out, because the music video is fantastic. Rufus Wainwright, good singer, and it's called The Loneliest Time. It's the same name as the album. And it's a fantastic song.
I remember when it came out, you told me about it. So I went through it once. I went through the album once. So I know what you're talking about. So like, yeah, it was a good pop. It's a good pop album. The reason I think why she didn't get the recognition that she deserves is because, as far as I know, there's no drama around her.
Yeah.
She does what she loves and loves doing it.
Yeah.
You know, there's no Taylor Swift drama, Kardashian, any bullshit like that around her, as far as I know.
Right.
And I think that's why she's not as big as she should be.
My brother and I and his friend Andrew, we all went and saw that Carly Rae. No opening act, by the way, on a fucking Wednesday night in LA. And she came out, and before the show started, some of the shows on that tour, which was the LA Hallucinations tour. It was for their 2 albums ago. And I was looking up like attendance for the shows, and like there was some shows that were happening in the middle of the week where there's like fucking 800 people at these small venues, which in a small venue is fine, but like she should be fucking selling out 6,000 people at House of Blues. Center. You know what I mean? Not Staples Center. She's not that. Like, and also, I don't like pop music in a big fucking arena format is not fun. It's when it's right
House
here.
of Blues is perfect. Yeah. I think it's like a perfect in between.
Yeah, or Wiltern, or fucking Palladium, or like the smaller music venues in LA.
The intimate more.
Yeah, and we saw her at the Henry Fonda. I think it was Henry Fonda, which is a smaller version of the Wiltern, essentially.
Junior, yeah.
And she came out, and again, a Wednesday night in LA. Nobody does anything on a Wednesday night in LA. That show was sold out. And I may have been the only straight man in the audience, probably. But it doesn't matter. Who cares? She came out, and when she saw that it was fucking packed, like, she got very emotional about it. And she even said, like, some of these shows haven't been doing well on the road, and I want to thank you guys for making this night special for me.
Aww.
And I was like, this is why I fucking love this woman right here. This genuine, real shit. And yeah, man, that was a fucking great show. Again, and no backtracks. 1 backup singer on stage, and all the music was played by a live band. There was no programming, no computers, no synthesizers, no.
So it's like
DJ.
an old-fashioned gig show.
Yeah, it was a guitarist, bass player, drummer. They did have keyboards, but it wasn't synth. It was for piano, and it was for actual music sounds and not like anything artificial.
Right.
100% live fucking band with 1 backup singer out there to help her out. That's it. That's fucking it. And it was fantastic. But yeah, check out Loneliest Time by Carly Rae Jepsen. It's a fucking fantastic album. And like I said, if you have the slightest hint of affection for good pop music, you're doing yourself a disservice by not listening to her stuff.
I haven't been to a live show in so long.
Me either. I haven't been since then. I think that was the last live show I went to. That was 2016, I think.
I can't think of one. Although next year, I have to go, but I heard tickets are insane. Postal Service and Death Cab.
Oh my god!
The 20th anniversary of Postal Service Give Up and I can't ever pronounce that title. Yeah. Dyslexia. But that starts with a T. Transcendence? Translations? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 20th anniversary for that, and I really want to go, but I heard some tickets are like. I heard like $500. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not paying that. I'll sit outside and listen to it.
I'm going to a concert in April when we go to Vegas.
Who are you seeing?
Villa Vallo, lead singer from him, his side project, his solo album is coming out in like a month, and he's doing a whole worldwide tour for it. And we're going to go see them in April.
Oh, I went to Emo Night. That's the last thing I went to. I'm not really a live band, but I went to Emo Night.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
With Brian.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I still wore a mask. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna wear a mask if I go to a concert. I don't really care. Knock on plastic. Still haven't caught COVID.
The first big thing I went to was I went to a hockey game like a month ago, like last month. I went to a Kings Red Wings game with Jay, and that was the first like
in public
big thing. Yeah, and I was like. Well, it's good to get this one out of the way because I'm going to be shoulder to shoulder with some fools at the House of Blues in April in Las Vegas for this concert. So, got to get used to it again.
Yeah, I did go to like a restaurant bar place too. And I forgot my mask. And I did test. And again, knock on plastic. Still haven't caught it.
Good for you, man.
Because I don't go out.
Rick drives to my house and back here.
I drive there, and that's it.
To a Starbucks.
Oh, Ryan's wedding. That's like.
Oh yeah, Ryan's wedding. That was that was
Again, tested, knock on plastic.
That was
still
the
didn't
first,
get it.
like, I would say minor level gathering I had been to was Ryan's wedding.
Yeah.
I mean, family stuff doesn't count because we're all in the same bubble and we all know where each other's been. So,
okay, so I have 2 more things left on mine.
cool.
The next one is BioShock, which is what I kind of mentioned earlier in the year. I streamed all of them except 2 because
Yeah, you streamed 1 and
I played 2, but like that is the only. I've never played Infinite or finished Infinite, I should say. And then I played the DLCs. But
which
the
you can go back through and
amount
do again.
of love that I have for this fucking series is amazing. I love. Okay, so Uncharted is like my ultimate favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a top list for video games, which might be an episode in the future. Now that I said that,
I already am working on a list of my favorite video games of all time. So yes,
but I could definitely see BioShock up there because the way this comes full fucking circle is fantastic, especially with the DLC, which you need to play.
to go through again. Yeah.
It's like the cherry on top to this fantastic story that well, there's an episode of this, so you can go back and watch it.
What's funny is I remember it coming full circle, but I don't remember any of the actual DLC. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, well,
because I played it. Yeah.
When I talked about it, I think you said you didn't play the second part.
No, I did.
Of the DLC.
But I didn't. I did once, but I didn't remember. I couldn't remember any of it.
Okay.
Which is weird because I have a pretty good memory. So
yeah. If you want more review on that, you can go check out that episode. But anyways, on point to BioShock is one of the best games I've played in a long time as well too, which I know it's an old game.
But you played through them again.
I played through them again.
Yeah,
with
and
an open
finished
mind.
Infinite.
Took my time.
Yeah.
I hurried up.
All right. So,
but yeah.
Did you see the trailer for Ken Levine's new game?
Holy shit! No. Oh man, I wish we had this set up so we could do it live.
I know. Okay, we'll talk about that. It's called Judas. And guess what? It looks like a BioShock game.
My god, I gotta watch it.
It looks so dope. I can't believe you haven't seen that.
No, I'm more like I'm hearing about the show, so I'm excited for the show to come out.
Yeah.
I know they're still in like pre-production of it, but like that's kind of like what I've been focused on.
Yeah. Ken Levine has a small studio again, just like he did with Irrational, but now it's I can't remember what it's called.
Look,
got a small studio,
okay,
and it's called Judas, and it looks like a BioShock game. I'm very happy about it. Everybody's like, it just looks like BioShock. Yeah, it does. Yes, it fucking does look like BioShock. After we're done here, I'm gonna make you watch the trailer for Judas.
Oh yeah, we're watching the trailer after this. But yeah, that's one of the top things that I really love because of how great the story is.
All right. So, video game. I don't want to say it's my game of the year because there's still a couple of things I need to finish before I make that official. But pleasant surprise of the year, I'm going to go with, and it's an indie game, and it's called Arcade Paradise.
Oh,
and
you talked about that.
It's a management sim essentially. But I put about 40 hours into that game, and there's a story, and it's told to you in bits and small doses, and it's fucking fantastic. And like, fucking shocker, the ending fucking made me cry. Like, and it's a fucking indie game about managing a fucking laundromat and arcade.
Gotta buy that.
And it's fucking fantastic. You can play the games in the arcade. In fact, you have to play the games in the arcade for some of the goals. But you fucking emptying arcade hoppers and you're doing laundry, and it's a fucking management sim. You're picking up gum off the chairs and fixing the toilet when it's broken, and it is the most fucking mundane shit. But I really, really liked it. And 95% of the games are really fun to play. They have like a DDR style rhythm game in there.
Oh.
But that one is like almost unplayable because the latency is so bad. And hopefully they fixed that. I haven't played it in a while since I finished it, but I've heard that they've done some patches and added some new games you can buy for your arcade and stuff. But yeah, Arcade Paradise, man. It's an independent game. It's very, very, very small studio, and it was made as like a love letter to the guy's growing childhood, like, you know, going to arcades with his dad and his brother and playing games and stuff. And it's fucking great, man. And it's got a really cool story. And it's set in the 90s. So like there's a jukebox, there's a jukebox you can buy for the arcade. And all of the songs, like, it's like, this vaguely sounds like a Soundgarden song. And this vaguely sounds like a Prodigy song. And it's like 90s style. Like there's like
eclectic this 90s music.
There's like this rap rock, like Rage Against the Machine sounding song. There's like a 311 sound. Like it's it is so fucking good. And again, it's because I've got one big game left on my docket to finish, which is Horizon Forbidden West, which is fucking fantastic. Fuck what you heard. This is a 9 out of 10. This game is fucking amazing. But I haven't finished the main story yet. And I've heard it sticks the landing, but that's also just hearsay. If that game sticks the landing for me, then it's going to be my game of the year. But right now, it's Arcade Paradise. A fucking $15. I bought it for $15. I bought it on sale. I think it's like a $25 game normally. But a fucking independent video game. Similar to when The Messenger won my game of the year, which was an indie game.
Oh, Messenger, yeah, I remember it.
But yeah, it's top tier. It is so good. And it's a fucking management sim. It's great. Please check out Arcade Paradise.
You said you have one more thing, or that was your...
I have one more after this, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and go. Because mine might take...
Okay.
Mine might be interactive with you as well.
Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about is a book that I read this year. And...
I almost had a book. I just didn't finish it, so I couldn't put it on it.
Well, I happened to finish this book apparently while I was catching a cold in Big Bear. It's called Wool by Hugh Howey, and they're making a TV show out of it. And I think it's going to only be on Apple Plus, which is really pissing me off. But I bought this book like 11 years ago because it was a self-published Kindle single or whatever they were calling them at the time, and it was like $2. Then you got similar to The Martian. Remember when I bought The Martian when it was only $2 because it was a self-published thing? Then he got a fucking book deal. Then they added to it. And now it's like a $10 book, a 500-page book. And I'm glad I didn't read it then because it was a short story then. And now it's this 500-page fucking amazing post-apocalyptic story that really... It's nothing new. It's not groundbreaking as far as like its tropes or its story or anything like that. It's just so well written. It's post-apocalyptic. These people live in underground silos and they're communities inside these silos. And without giving major spoil, because you find this out pretty early on, like in the first couple 100 pages. Without giving us with spoilers, and I know the movie I'm going to reference is very divisive, but if you've seen The Village and you understand that concept in that Shyamalan movie, The Village, whether you like the movie or not, that's neither fucking here nor there. The concept of the village, of a walled garden, so to speak, you know, people living here. You know, into the book you find out that there's other silos with other people, and the people in this one, the people in every silo think that they're the only people left on the earth. And there's people in the silo that know about the other silos and they communicate. And it's fucking Lord of the Flies meets, and it's turning into a series, a television series, yes. And it's gonna be fucking amazing.
I'm gonna have to look up Audible for that one, or my library now.
Yeah, Audible, yeah, whatever. It's all the way I read books. So you know this is like I read a book, and if the Audible is cheap. Like, it's like, oh, buy the book for this, and if you want the audio, it's only like $8 instead of fucking $30, and you don't need a subscription. So this did have the audio companion, and the reason I love the Kindle so fucking much is because you sync that up, and you can read the words while it's reading it to you. It's like, it's so fucking rad, dude. Like,
I still haven't done that yet with my Kindle.
Yeah, because it engages both sides of your brain, man. Like, I know you're more of an audiobook guy, but I always tell you got like there's some things that you need to read so your imagination can fucking do the work.
It's almost the same thing too. I mean, because I'm a visual person. I mean,
but
person that pictures
experiencing it passively being told to you and experiencing it while you're reading it are two different things. I still maintain that. Yeah. I still maintain that. But yeah, Wool by Hugh Howey. It's fucking fantastic. I'm gonna have to find a way to watch the Apple Plus show.
I think I have Apple Plus.
Okay. Because I looked at some of the casting and stuff. And I'm like, man, fuck, that doesn't look anything like this character. And then there's characters that aren't in the book. But then again, I don't know what these characters look like because it's a fucking book. But that's yeah. So I'm really excited about that. Wool is a fantastic book. It's a 3-book series though. He's got Wool, Shift, and Silo, and I think they're all different stories, but it's all in the same. I don't think they have anything to do with each other. I haven't started reading the second book yet, but I'm going to start reading it. And yeah, I'm really, really excited about the series.
Cool. Real quick, since we are talking about books, like I said, I did mention like I was reading this book, but I didn't get to finish it because I'm a weirdo, and sometimes I read more than one book at the same time.
I've tried that. I can't do it.
It is hard. But the 2 books were, one was actually based on a series, a Hulu series called Normal People, which is a love story between this guy and this girl. They met in high school, and they basically feel like they're meant for each other. And, you know, life happens. They go to different colleges and stuff like that, and they try to make it work. They break up. They get back together. You know, they find each other again, and then like, you know, she finds out this happens with him, and basically it's like a romance book, I guess you can say.
Right.
That's me.
Yeah. That's on brand. That's on brand.
I was reading that. I don't think I only got like 3 chapters in it, but I'm like halfway through this other book called Loveless, which is this girl who's going to college and basically kind of like discovering who she is, whether she likes girls or not. I haven't finished it, so I can't really make it. Okay. But that's not my. I can't say book. That's not the what I'm going to talk about because I didn't finish it. The reason I had you go first too, because the next thing on my list, remember I said this is about moments and things in my life.
Yeah.
That's where my friends come in. I'm getting sentimental here right? Go. That's where you come in. That's where everyone I've met online come in. Yeah. That's one of the things. Like it's like, especially right now. Okay, so my last top. This is gonna be my top of my list thing is the moments that of this year that I've had with my friends. Me and you going to Ryan's wedding. Like that was a fucking blast, dude.
You were like, you didn't want to go.
I don't like. Okay, I'll be honest. I'm sorry, Ryan. I was feeling anxious, and I almost wanted to like.
After the ceremony, you wanted to peace out, and I was like, no, you have to stay, and you have to go to the reception.
My anxiety was high. I was very nervous. Crowd of people. Ryan, you know me. You know how I am.
I made him stay, and I made Rick stay, and I was like, stay. At least for the dinner. And you ended up staying for a long time.
I stayed up longer than I expected. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 90, honestly, like 9, there's like maybe a 3% chance I wasn't actually going to go.
Yeah.
Because 90% of me wanted to go. Well, or that other percent of me definitely wanted to go because it's my fucking friend's wedding.
Yeah.
But
anyone
who's friends with me knows how much like anxiety that I have, especially around big people, or not big people, crowded rooms and being just around groups of people. Yeah. Groups of people.
Be small, large, doesn't matter.
Yeah. I just get anxious and nervous, and then like I'll have to like maybe even exit. Like I went outside for a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because like I was just
totally understandable.
But yeah, like that's why. So like that's one of the biggest moments.
You're not a drinker, so you didn't want to go up to the bar. Because if you would have just went up to the bar and got a drink, you could have taken the edge off. But you're not. You're not a drinker.
I can't do that. Maybe I need to bring up smoking some weed. I don't know. I just can't do it for health reasons.
Right.
But yeah, so like my biggest thing here is also this starting the podcast with you. Mm-hmm. This has brought so much freaking joy back into my life. You do not understand.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad
being able to do this again, spend time with you. Hanging out with you, you know, doing this made me open up Premiere Pro again and made me more alive, I guess, to want to like get shit done and do things, you know, especially with like how rocky this year was with not having a job, then getting a
job you didn't like.
A job I didn't like.
I got you.
Trying to hold back on what I actually want to say about it, but the job I didn't like.
Yep, there you go. That's all you got to say.
And doing this really like made me figure out what I wanted out of life now, especially for someone who doesn't know what I want for a very long time or where I wanted to go. You helped me figure that out, and that has been one of the top moments of this year for me.
Awesome.
So
I'm glad I could be a part of it.
Get a little emotional, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I could be a part of
that.
it, dude.
Another part of it is my friends online. Especially when I told everyone the news about when I left this job too.
Yeah.
Like I just had this feeling like everyone's gonna be like, oh, why did you do this? How could you do that? Like you need that job and blah blah blah. All that bullshit too. How supportive you all are.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know any of these people, so I'm gonna give you the side eye right now. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm including you too. Because when I told you too, you weren't like, oh, Rick, why'd you do that? No. You know, you weren't like that. You were
the first thing I said was, dude, you are not made to do a job like that.
Exactly.
You were not made to do a job like that, dude.
And just like that. And then like when I told my friends online about it too, like they were the same way. It's like, if that's not gonna work for you, like don't like we live in a fucked up society right now. It's like, if you know, like
if you can't handle that,
they know who I like, you know, it's like they know me just like you know me. I mean, I know you know me longer too, but like it doesn't matter. Like being a human is enjoying what you do and not pushing yourself to something that you don't want to do.
Right.
It just I guess you could say this was the epiphany of my life that I managed to figure out this year.
That's cool.
That's one of my is it epiphany? Because that's the word.
Yeah. Sudden breakthrough
in reality. Yeah. You know, it took long fucking enough. Goddamn life. But yeah, that's kind of my top moment as far as life goes, is having the supportive friends that help me figure out what I want. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite quotes is actually from Jim Carrey. I don't know if you've ever seen it, where his dad told him, I know it, but like I'm gonna say it wrong, you know?
Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant, and when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
Why spend time doing that when you
What's a good play with nothing away? I fucked that up.
Yeah. When you can spend the rest of your life doing something you love,
right?
You know, and get fired anyways. Yeah. You know, so might as well take a risk on something you love.
Yeah,
that's what I finally got stuck into my head. Is like, here we go. You know, and but that's that's something, like I said, that's something I wanted to throw out there, because I just wanted to put it out there publicly, I guess.
I always say it, like, and I know it's fucking cliche, and you know my group of friends, especially the ones that I still hang around with that I've known since high school.
Jay and everyone.
We all, like, the majority of us, we're married, have kids or whatever, right? And we all get together once a week and we hang out. And
I'm hanging out with you in Halloween.
Drink some beers and all that. Like, I always, and I know this is gonna fucking come off as cliche and cheesy, but dude, it's more true now than ever. It takes a village to survive in this world, man. And I'm super happy I've got the village of people around me I have, because if I didn't have people to lean on when I need them, I'd be in a lot worse state than I am. So it takes a fucking village, man. And you've got a village built around you that, whether you realize it or not, and I think you're starting to realize it, like, we've all got people around us that care about us and help us, and even when we don't realize that, they do. And it's very important to have that. It's very important. And to be self-aware enough to realize that you have it is very important.
Yeah, man, for sure. For someone like me who, you know, battles depression and all that stuff, diagnosed officially and all that, like, it was always so hard for me to like break through that. And like this year kind of felt like that moment. Starting this podcast, like I know I'm kind of repeating myself, but starting this podcast with you, and I think the moment, and we talked about this earlier in the podcast, where you said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That hit me so hard. You don't understand. When you told me that first time, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. I don't have to. Okay. And then you know,
well, shit, man. Last weekend we were supposed to sit down and record a batch.
And it was
of
a lot easier. Yeah.
And I told you, said, hey, if you can't, don't worry about it. That's fine.
Yeah. I wasn't, that time when that happened, I wasn't mentally prepared to do this.
Yeah.
And I was not in a good place, headspace for it. And hearing those words, just felt like a nice, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be okay. It's not going to, there's nothing writing on this, you know, there's nothing writing on this at all. Yeah. This is for fun. This is what we do. And I love that. That's why I just wanted to take this moment to thank you for being awesome and helping me out. And then also thank my online friends, everyone online, Cab, Chev, Kay, everyone, Kale.
All you fucking one-syllable bastards.
No, are we all? No, I think we actually brought that up where everyone has like one syllable.
That's great.
But yeah, I met them during the pandemic, you know, back in late 2020 and 2001. And we all just hit it off so well.
I'm glad, dude. I'm glad you have a network.
Just like you have your, you know, community of your friends, you know, as well too.
Fucking dude, Ian's Discord. I feel like I'm friends with everybody in that fucking group.
Right.
It's weird, and I've only known them for
that's something about being online. That's
2 years at this
amazing.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also got to throw out Cheesy and Wolf as well. Always got to throw out Cheesy and Wolf.
Yeah. Dude, I fucking play games with Wolf 3-4 times.
I know you play with Wolf a lot more than I do because I don't really turn on the PlayStation.
I haven't chatted with Cheesy in a while, but yeah, Cheesy's another one. That dude's so fucking cool. Such a solid dude, man.
Yeah, I still message Cheesy every once in a while. He hit me up every once in a while too.
Yeah,
especially on Twitter, we go back and forth. Got through my love to Cheesy as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just that was one of my top moments.
Awesome
for this year.
I'm glad I could be a part of it.
But yeah, that's why I let you go first because I knew this was gonna.
Yeah,
this is gonna involve both of us.
So. Very cool. Very cool, man.
But with that, that wraps up our 2022 wrap up.
Yeah,
man. I don't know if you got anything else to say.
No, I hope you enjoyed the fucking history lesson at the beginning. That was pretty fun. Yes. That was completely impromptu. No idea we were gonna do that.
I didn't think we were gonna do that either. but what I'll do is I'll make this is kind of more shop talk, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a what do you call marker.
Okay.
So in case people want to skip it, you shouldn't fucking skip it.
No.
But if you want to, I understand.
Yeah, there'll be a timestamp.
Timestamp. There we go.
YouTube video, whatever. Yeah.
Maybe
very cool.
Cut this out. But yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. As I said, this is the end of season 1.
Right.
So we will be back for season 2.
Yes.
With new episodes, new guests.
Listen, we were a mid-season replacement. Is what we were.
Considered a mid-season replacement.
And we got picked up for another season. We'll see how that goes.
This came out during sweeps.
You know, the summer lull.
We got picked up.
We got picked up.
Yeah. Thank you, Lauren Michaels. Everyone thanks Lauren Michaels. Thank you, Lauren Michaels.
Yeah. As always, I want to throw a special shout out to No Taxes Nigel Bravo, aka Stoke Crow Comedy. The music you're probably hearing right now. Super awesome guy. Go check him out on Twitch and Bandcamp. It's Stoke Crow Comedy. Crow with a K, comedy with a K.
And yeah, until next time, we will see you next year for a new season.